You're locked in an online debate, and no matter the facts, the other person doubles down. Or the boss emails, "Let's talk," and you panic. Or a date replies late, and you instantly assume you're being ghosted. In these moments, your brain is applying a specific mental filter, confirmation bias. It is a psychological mechanism that pushes us to seek out and remember the information that already supports our beliefs. This behavior is driven by cognitive dissonance. When you encounter a fact that clashes with an established worldview, your brain registers a specific type of internal friction, a sense of tension that we instinctively try to resolve. To ease that tension, your brain acts like a bouncer at a club. It selectively admits the evidence that feels validating while ignoring or rejecting the rest. By prioritizing comfort over contradiction, we end up living in a world of filtered information, often unaware of the specific gaps in our own perspective. This exists because of evolution. For our ancestors, quick decisions were a survival necessity. Hesitating to overanalyze a blurry shape in the brush could mean the difference between escaping or being hunted. That ancient survival mechanism, built for the jungle, now struggles in a modern world flooded with complex, nuanced data. While cherry-picking data might be harmless when you're debating sports teams or pizza toppings, this same filter can have serious consequences when it influences financial decisions or medical care. To see exactly how this logic fails, we look at a study from the 1960s by psychologist Peter Wason, known as the 2-4-6 task. Wason showed participants three numbers, 2, 4, and 6. Their job was to figure out a hidden rule by proposing their own three-number sequences. Most people guessed the rule was even numbers increasing by 2. They tested this by offering sequences like 8, 10, 12. Wason would confirm it fits the rule, so they felt they had the answer. But they almost never tested sequences that could prove their guess wrong, like 1, 2, 3. If they had, they would have realized the actual rule was simply any three numbers in increasing order. Human beings are wired to test data only to confirm what we already suspect. We often fail to realize that the most effective way to find the truth is to try to disprove our own hypothesis. We see this failure of logic play out in the financial world. Imagine an investor who decides a specific tech stock is the future. They begin seeking out glowing analyst upgrades and participating in forums where everyone shares the same optimistic outlook. This chart shows the stock is in a long-term decline, but the investor's brain places a mental magnifying glass over the small, temporary upward spikes, while ignoring the red flags in the actual financial reports. As a result, the investor holds a tanking asset far too long. They prioritize validating their original choice over the contradictory facts, leading to real financial loss. In the medical field, this process is known as diagnostic momentum. It's a psychological trap that even the most highly trained experts can fall into. It starts when a doctor or psychiatrist locks onto an early diagnosis based on a few initial symptoms. Instead of looking for symptoms that would rule out their first guess, the professional might only focus on the data that fits the theory. Contradictory lab work often fades to the background. This narrowed focus leads to misdiagnoses, as underlying conditions go unnoticed because the search for alternatives stopped too early. These examples show that confirmation bias isn't about a lack of intelligence. It's about the psychological comfort of being right. Even years of scientific training can be overridden by the brain's desire for consistency. Brain scans show that processing confirming information triggers specific neural pathways. This happens automatically, below the level of conscious awareness. Because this filter is built in, we have to actively modify how we make decisions, starting with the awareness that our perspective is likely skewed. To counter this, adopt the Wason solution. Test to falsify. Ask yourself, what specific evidence would actually prove me wrong? You can also use friction-building strategies. Play devil's advocate against your own beliefs, consult diverse sources, or use premortems to imagine why a project might fail before you even begin. Here is your challenge. Pick one belief you are certain about today and find 3 pieces of credible evidence that contradict it. Share what you find in the comments, and hit subscribe to keep questioning the way you think.